Hi, I'm Sam Alchel. I can't believe that I'm finally gonna be a bar mitzvah because I've lived through my sisters and my brothers, and they've been talking about mine since I was born and since theirs. And it's just weird to think how, when I was that little, I could have been this big.
I'm Mary Ann, and I am Sam, the bar mitzvah boy's mom.
And I am Eric, Sam's dad. I first found out about Sam when Mary Ann said to me, she's pregnant. And I was like, really? And she was like, really?
Sam
And
was on purpose. Let's get it
teasing.
straight with the crowd.
I am teasing.
Sam, you are not an accident. I can promise you that. I know people ask, was he an accident? Because he kind of came a lot later than Eli and Sydney. You were not an accident.
We were so happy when we knew we were waiting for your arrival. It was so exciting.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Hi, I'm Larry Altschul, and I am Sam's papa, and I'm known as Papa Larry.
And I'm Karen Altschul, and I'm known as Nana. And this reminds me of my first recollection of Sam. 13 years ago, Mary Ann and Eric and little Eli and teenage Sydney were at our house for Shabbat dinner. And as we're lighting the candles, Mary Ann and Eric said, we have an announcement to make. We couldn't imagine what it was. Never did we dream it was going to be what we heard.
A new puppy.
And a new puppy may be in the house. And they said that there is going to be a new baby. And we all went around Mary Ann and we all gave Sam his very first hug.
Well, now that you've asked, I happen to be Sammy's grandfather. And who are you?
And I'm his mama, as he calls me, or Mama Junior.
Mary Ann came to Judy and I and suggested that she was going to have another child. I said, Mary Ann, are you out of your effing mind? Your kids are now, one was 7 years old, I think. You gotta go back again and start all over again. Diapers, schooling, babysitters, etc. Think about it, Mary Ann. And I'll tell you one thing. She was right. Sam became a very important person in our lives. So I was wrong to have even suggested that she not have Sam. Sam turned out to be a bonus.
When I called my mom and told her that I was pregnant with Sam, she was very surprised, needless to say, and she said, are you crazy? And the next thing she said was, I'm taking you on a vacation. We went to a resort at Miraval, Espon, Tucson, and I met with a Native American shaman from the Hopi Indian tribe, and he was a medicine man. And he put his hands on my belly, and he looked at me in the eyes, and he said, you have a bodhisattva in your belly. Do you know what a bodhisattva is? And at that point, 13 years ago, I said, no, I have no idea what a bodhisattva is. He said, you have a person in your belly that is going to help this world transition, help this world become a better place, help this world be more conscious and more aware. And at that moment, I really was aware that Sam was a special little guy.
I was asked to be part, or if I wanted to be part, of watching Sammy be born. Well, nothing ever matched that experience that I had being present for Sammy's birth. I've never seen a birth outside of my own kids, and it was extremely meaningful. And Mary Ann's doctor was a friend of hers. He had me standing there, and he said, do you want to help me pull him out? Well, I will never, ever forget that experience. It was an easy birth, and it really was indicative of how easy he was going to be in life and how lovable. That's our Sammy.
Hi, I'm Eli. I go to Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm Sam's big brother. And I remember when Sam was born, I went to the hospital, and I was the first one who got to hold him as soon as my mom started passing him around. and that was such an honor because they handed him to me over my sister.
Hi, I am Sam's sister Sydney. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently living in Montreal and I'm studying psychology. The day Sam was born was one of the greatest days of my life. We walked in to the hospital room and much to my dismay, my parents handed Eli Sam first, I think because I was just too excited. They didn't want to give me him yet. And then after Eli held him, I got to hold him and I remember just looking at this little baby being like, mine, like he's mine. And ever since then, he's been my little baby. He does not like that I call him a baby, but he will always be my baby.
So I remember when we brought Sam home from the hospital, after we finished our Chipotle, because back then there was only one Chipotle in town, it was near the hospital, so we had to have Chipotle before we left.
My first recollection of Sam was the night he was born. Everybody was thrilled and excited and hungry. And his father took me in the car and I got my first and last Chipotle 13 years ago. It was delicious.
We had Chipotle and then we brought Sam home. And I remember we laid out a towel in our backyard and had Sydney and Eli and Karma, our dog at the time, all cradling Sam. And we took a family picture of all the kids, and that was our first family picture. It's still one of my favorite pictures of all time.
Yeah, mine as well. It was hard to believe that we brought home a new baby because we were a family of 4. We had the girl and the boy, and then all of a sudden this baby came home. And all of a sudden there was like another child in the picture. So that family picture meant a lot to me as well.
Since the day Sam was born, Eli and I have been planning for this bar mitzvah. Through every picture, video we have, we've always been like, that's gonna go in the montage, that's gonna go in the montage. And now that it's 13 years later and it's actually happening and all these pictures and videos are going into the montage, I just can't believe it. He's not my baby anymore.
Sam was just an easygoing kid. I feel so blessed because he just kind of folded into our family. He was just easygoing. He just wanted to keep up with the other kids. He never wanted to be left behind. So because he didn't want to be left behind and like not come on a vacation or not come to dinner, he made sure he was good as gold. So Sam really learned very quickly how to be good as gold so that we would bring him. And as a result of that, we brought him everywhere because he was easy, he was good, he was malleable, and fun to be with.
So all of our kids, when you transition from the crib to the big boy or big girl bed, every one of our kids did something different to try to get out. Sydney would scream until she threw up. Eli wouldn't make any noise. He would just pile the clothes up and then climb over the gate. Sam was different. Sam didn't want to be left out. He didn't want to play games. He just went right for that gate. He shook it, knocked it down every time, and would just walk right out of his room to join us.
So how old are you, Sam?
But then I'm gonna be 4 and then 5. And on May 22nd, I'm gonna turn 4.
Oh, okay, very good.
And I'm getting a new bicycle.
It was a bike that had like fire things on it. It had a really nice bell. It had training wheels. They would tell me that they were holding the back, and you would just keep going, and they said, "No, I got you," and I kept saying, "Don't let go, don't let go," and then they would let go without telling me. And I remember once my sister was doing that, and so I kept going, and she yelled, "Hey!" and I could hear she was really far back. I turned around, should not have turned around. I was not ready for that. At least I was right next to the grass, so I fell in the grass.
Sam and I always had a very special connection, and I would play with him all the time, and I guess he thought that he was my age.
He plays with me whenever I'm bored, and we play everything, but he doesn't like to play chess.
So when my friends would come over and we would hang out and play Xbox or play outside, he always thought that he was just one of me and my buddies, and he'd try and chill with us. And so we'd play basketball and we'd give him a shot once in a while, but then I'd have to call my dad to take him in. And
Sam, who do you want to work for
Eli,
when you get older? And what do you want to work with Eli doing?
in a chocolate store.
In what, Eve?
Chocolate store.
Chocolate store.
Will that be fun?
No.
Why won't that be fun? It's chocolate.
because I get to eat it and it's so yummy because I like it.
And what's Sydney's job going to be?
She's gonna be homeless.
So he asked me what Sammy calls me, and I said it's Pops or Papa Norman. However, I've always called him Sammy from Miami. The guy who loves hockey the most is Sammy from Miami. Now, Sammy from Miami, I don't know if he loves hockey so much or the fact that he can dress up to play hockey. If Sammy doesn't have the right equipment on, he doesn't go on the ice. And I've got every confidence in the world that Sandy's going to turn out to be a great hockey player one day if they dress him properly.
Sam played Chip in Beauty and the Beast, and it was undoubtedly the cutest thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, I was in Beauty and the Beast. I played Chip, the little teacup, and the director told me to just sit in a cart, put my face in the cup, and look cute.
I think the teacup.
Oh, the teacup was the best.
The teacup sticks
Oh
out in my
God.
mind.
Oh, right. Oh, absolutely. We arrive at the play, and there is a teacup with Sam's head in it. And you couldn't miss him, and honestly, he stole the show.
His first scene was him going on stage in a little cart, because he was a little Chip, the teacup that, and his first scene, he popped his head up of the cart and turns around, and the audience saw that it was Sam, and the audience just started cheering, and it was the cutest thing ever.
I sat in the cart, put my face in the cup, and looked cute.
Well, you know, one of the regrettable things is that we are in Canada and they are in Florida. So the times when we did see them were most precious. And specifically, we would meet up north in northern Ontario, Muskoka.
In the summer, I go up to this place called Muskoka. The lake is Lake Rosso, with my grandparents and my uncles and sometimes my cousins.
I can recall Sammy learning to drive the boat while we're holding it.
And steer it.
And the sea-doos, holding them on a sea-doo and going around the lake. And these are really nice memories that we have.
I went to Washington, D.C. with Nana and Papa. I had so much fun on that trip.
We went to the monuments during the day. We had arrived, and we couldn't find a place for lunch at 2:30. And we went into a restaurant that really was inappropriate for Sam. It was really too grown up, but in Washington it's hard to find something that's for young people. It's mostly for businessmen and congressmen.
I remember this one day we went to the Hamilton restaurant, and I remember at the time Alexander Hamilton, my favorite show. So I saw this restaurant, and it was called Hamilton's, and it had like a picture of Alexander Hamilton. So obviously I wanted to go in. We went. They had a mac and cheese that was way too creamy. And creamy mac and cheese doesn't agree with me. I did not feel good.
We're surprising him to go and see The Wiz. It was there from Broadway. And Sam loved musical comedy and musical theater. And Sam didn't feel well. And as the afternoon went on, Sam didn't feel well. So we spent the evening in the hotel, and Sam really didn't feel well.
And I remember 3 a.m, waking up my grandparents, going to the bathroom, things coming out of my body, and then going right back to sleep. Yeah, we went on the duck boat, and my grandparents didn't tell me that it was on land and water. And so we were driving around, it looked pretty cool. We were taking a tour of Washington, D.C. And then this boat started driving into the water. And I got so scared, like I was freaking out, holding on for dear life, putting on my life jacket, like starting to cry. And so then I realized that it floats. Oh, that was pretty scary.
One memory that I recall, which I'll never forget that experience, was we went one summer to New York with Sammy and his mom. We went to see, I think, 3 plays. Matilda was one. Stomp was another one. I remember he just sat at the edge of his chair and Stomp. He must have been probably about 9 years old. He absolutely couldn't believe what he was seeing, what they were doing.
But my memories are not so much specific trips, but just the time he and I spent together on the golf course a lot. I got him some clubs, and we would go out to the range and practice. We even went on the course. We would go halfway down the course, and I'd put a tee in the fairway as if it were the tee box, and he would play as if that were the hole, and he'd play it into the hole. And he liked it a lot, and he was very good.
I hated heights and I still hate heights, but I remember this one day, I think we were checking out Ramada Rome, and they had this really high up swing, and they put me in all these harnesses. I was scared to death, and I was just swinging and swinging. I still remember that because that like traumatized me. I was scared. My brother Eli used me to get a brand new Xbox. So one day we had a PS4. I loved it. Eli wanted an upgrade to an Xbox One, but he knew that our parents wouldn't get it for us. So he had me accidentally break one of the discs that we put in for the games to go into the PlayStation, and he had me break it and put it in, and I put it into the thing, and it broke because it was a broken disc, so the whole PlayStation broke, and he forced it, and that made Mom and Dad get him a new Xbox, so I felt like I was abetting him.
So did you ever tell your parents that you did it, or do they know?
I did. I actually have I told my mom, and she has like this little confession video.
Eli tried to bribe me with $50 so he could get the Xbox, and he tried to bribe me with $50 so that he could blame it on me and so that I got in trouble.
So who broke the Xbox?
Eli.
What happened?
So he put it outside and he smashed it with the back of a hammer.
What did he smash with the back of a hammer?
The disc.
Where?
And he put it in the Trials Fusion.
Are you serious, Sam?
And he blamed it on me, and he said I was jumping on a chair, I broke it, and I put it in. He's actually the one that even put it in.
Did you watch him break it with a hammer?
Yeah, I was outside with him.
And did you watch him then put the broken disc inside of the PlayStation?
Yep, I watched all of it.
Come here, look. Did you watch him break
Yeah.
put it inside of it?
I told you.
You 100% sure?
Mm-hmm.
You telling the truth?
I watched him with hawk eyes.
You watched him what?
With hawk eyes.
I have two best friends named Josh and Matthew. I've been friends with them since like 3rd grade. Me and Matthew play a lot of Xbox together, and me and Josh, he likes to swim, and he sometimes likes to play tennis with me. Sydney, she always loves to give me kisses and call me schnookums. She knows that I hate it, but I don't actually think that she cares. Sydney, if you're listening, I am now a man in the Jewish religion, but you'll probably still never call me a man. I will always be your little baby. My dad, he's a very nice guy. He's been my father for almost 13 years. We do a lot of things. We got a model, like an RC plane, and we also have an RC car. We like to do that. We love talking about planes. That's like my dad's forte. If he could look at the sky and he could just be like, oh, 747, Boeing, Emirates. Like, he could just spot that, and it's like, it'll be like 2 miles up. It's crazy.
My mom is awesome. She always keeps her hopes up on someone, even when they don't even believe in themselves.
My mom loves yoga and like meditation, and sometimes to make her happy, I'll just go out and do yoga with her.
So I did something for Sam that I didn't do for either of my older kids. And that is, Sam was a very good baseball player, and he played competitive hardball, and they needed an assistant coach. And Sam was like, come on, Dad, you could be the assistant coach. Now, I took him to a lot of the games and practices, but I was always in the bleachers, and I agreed to be an assistant coach. And I didn't know the rules. I didn't know how to coach anybody, but I did it because Sam wanted me there.
So cute.
And the great thing about it is I knew more than 10-year-olds, so I did fine. And Sam loved it, and more importantly, I loved being with Sam for every single practice and every single game.
We have seen him play every sport. We saw him play basketball, good. We saw him play baseball, really, really good.
Better, right?
And I would say that his tennis is his best sport, his best natural sport.
So Sam is a kid that gets really excited. Whatever he is doing, he is extremely excited about, extremely motivated. It is like his passion and his desire to get good at whatever it is that he's doing. So right now it is tennis. You know, tennis is the love of his life right now. He started tennis before COVID, and then COVID was literally, tennis was the greatest thing to happen because he was outside. He got to be social with his friends. He met a lot of people, and he was able to move his body. And so we really supported that. He is so motivated. I can't even get over it. He will play 6 hours of tennis. Today, he's at tennis right now. Where is Sam? He's at tennis, and he already played 3 hours of tennis this morning. He's on, I don't even know what time it is, probably like hour number 5 of playing tennis. That's all he wants to do 24/7. It's incredible. He's like self-motivated kid, and he's getting really great at it, and I'm proud of him.
And he's gotten so good at tennis. I went with Eli the other day, and we watched him. Just his serves, they're so powerful, and I think he could even beat Eli now.
I started playing tennis about a year ago. I train at Rick Macy Tennis Academy. It's quite competitive there. Rick Macy is actually a top coach, and there's this one time where I was having a lesson, and Rick Macy comes onto my court, and he's just coaching me. And that was a really cool experience for me because he's like internationally known as a great tennis coach. And so it was just super cool to have him just come and give me tips.
Sammy played all kinds of sports. He tried every sport imaginable. And we went to see him play every sport imaginable.
Whenever I'm talking to Papa Norman, he always asks me, "Hey, how's your backhand? Hey, how's your backhand? Hey, how's your backhand?"
And what's your answer?
Say, pretty good, not so good, kind of good, getting better, almost there. Nope.
So Sam's 7 years younger than Eli, but Sam is committed to tennis, and Eli hasn't committed to tennis since he was at Camp Micah learning from Olga, although I don't think that was about tennis. But that's the last time that Eli really played. So now when they go out and compete, Sam's definitely got the skills. But Eli's 19, so he's got the power, he's got the height. But if my money was on it, I'd bet on Sam.
And with all due respect, Eli's a great athlete too. So this would be a tough one. But I have to tell you, Sam, if you keep at it, I'd say in 6 months you're going to take him easy.
If Eli and I played a tennis match, I would whoop him.
Sam, Mazel Tov, I'm so proud of you. I know you've been working so hard and it's all coming together. And I love you so much and I'm so happy for you.
Samuel, I love you so much. You're the best brother in the whole wide world. You're the most confident, wittiest, smartest little guy. And I just love your spunky, special soul. And I'm so glad to be your sister. I'm so grateful to be your sister. I love you.
Sammy, we're very proud of you today, but we've always been very proud of you every day. You're a really special, special grandson. Oh, and we love you very, very much. Mazel tov.
Big kisses, Sammy. Mazel tov. One other thing I failed to mention, and I should. When you videoed me several years ago at Eli's bar mitzvah, I looked into this camera and I said, I'm going to be here for Sammy's bar mitzvah. And I'm here now. And I just want him to know that. I made that promise.
So I think, Sam, I look forward to a wonderful, fruitful, enriching life for you if you just continue on this great path that you've already established for yourself. And I would also suggest one other thing that will be an enriching life for you. You and I giggle a lot, and we tell jokes a lot, and we laugh at each other a lot. And I think that every day of your life, if you can find something to laugh about or smile about, it'll make for a better life. And that's my best wish for you. We love you.
I think Larry spoke for both of us, just how proud we are of Sam, how much we love him, how we know he's going to be a magnificent person. He's filled with love and generosity. And one more thing to add to Larry's story, when Sam spoke from the bema so comfortably, our rabbi told us afterwards that he thought Sam had the makings of a rabbi. So Sam, may you go on that path and be a righteous man always.
Sam, I can't tell you how proud I am of you today, but more importantly, how proud I am of you every single day. You are growing into a man, you're becoming your own person, your own individual, and you are really turning into something special. I can't tell you how much I love you, how much I love being with you, how glad I am that you are in my life every single day. I love you so much. Mazel tov.
Sam, mazel tov on your bar mitzvah. You are such a light. And since the moment you came into the world, you have lit up my life. You've lit up Sydney and Eli's lives, your grandparents' lives. There is something very unique and very special about you. I've said this before. I've always felt so good when I've been with you. You make me feel good. You make everyone feel good. And that is such an incredible quality that's going to help you in your life. It's going to help people want to be with you and just support you. And honestly, Sam, you could do whatever you want to do. You're so talented, so capable, so smart, so athletic, so spiritual, so connected. Just do whatever you want to do, babe. I love you so much. Mazel tov on your bar mitzvah. We love you today and every day more and more.
Thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for doing all of this and everything that you've done for me. I really appreciate it, and I love you guys so much.